We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question, you may press star and one on their touchtone telephone. The first question is from the line of Ruchit Puri from Kotak Mahindra Bank. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks everyone for the insight. Just one quick question I had was, you mentioned about the business trust invests in REITs. So for a foreigner on an NRI, you mentioned the TDS is 10% and the dividend tax liability is 20%. Unlike if anyone receives a dividend in any other form, then it will be added to his income. Is that the understanding, or is that my understanding correct?
Yeah. So I'll take that question. So when a business trust, so an InvIT is going to distribute dividend to a foreign person, the withholding tax rate which has been proposed under the budget is 10%. However, that's the withholding tax rate. The tax rate for a foreign person who is earning dividends from India is 20%. And actually, probably there should have been a change there because, usually when any income is distributed to a foreign person, the withholding taxes rate is typically the final rate of tax. But unfortunately, and that's, section 115A, no change has been proposed within that section to provide for a lower 10% rate of tax on dividends which are distributed by the InvIT to a foreign person. So currently the reading seems like that while the withholding tax rate is 10%, but the recipient may still have a balanced tax liability of another 10%, obviously subject to treaty benefit if any.
So I think it's a question of whether it's a nit which will be corrected as part of when the Finance Act is enacted, or they consciously think about it. Hopefully it will all come down to the 10% rate.
Sorry, just to add that. So if it was not an InvIT, if it was just a mutual fund dividend, in that case the withholding tax is 20%, and the tax liability would be depending on the tax slab. If it's an individual foreigner or an NRI. Is that right?
Yeah, that should seem to be right.
Okay.
Thank you. So any closing comments?
I think as a closing comment, I think the only thing I can say is that we will need to see what kind of discussions happen over the next month or month and a half, especially when it comes to the SCP or significant economic presence or some of the nits that we've talked about as part of this discussion, to see how it evolves. And see what changes come about as part of the final Finance Act. That's something that we'll have to wait and watch. And with that, thanks everyone for joining in.